What was the tipping point for realizing your polite approach to conservatives wasn't working? You argue with people over a year. They're going hard on blah, blah, blah. It's not that the polite approach wasn't working. It's that it's the Vivans. I think that reading the full Supreme Court cases has actually triggered me like onto another dimension. I think that reading them and then dwelling on them and then thinking about the rationale that Roberts selectively applies is actually driving me fucking insane. I read it back to you yesterday. That bullshit statement that Justice Barrett adds in about how we need to rule this way to turn the temperature down on the country. The feeling I have is that Roberts is highly selective the conservative court is highly selective in the reasoning that they deploy based on what it is that they want to argue. And because of that, the real upsetting thing is it really feels like Donald Trump. I read this comment on the subreddit this morning. It was super true. Donald Trump is every single thing that conservatives said that Hillary Clinton was. He's a crony with a bunch of crony friends that are all doing every single thing they can to help him evade the responsibility in office and the responsibility in court. And they're working every single part of the system that they can in order to effect that end. It's wild to me. Judge dismisses Trump's Mar-a-Lago classified docs criminal case. So, I guess I was being an idiot or I didn't understand something because somebody brought this up in chat and I didn't really think much of it. When we were reading the court case for the immunity thing, I jokingly wrote this off as schizo rambling. So in the immunity case, you have an amateurish opinion authored by Roberts, where he copes for like 50 or so pages or 40 pages on some insane shit about how the president needs criminal immunity for blah, 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 whatever. Whatever stupid shit this guy rambles on to. Then we go on to what I thought was just aimless schizoid posting for manifesto writing for no reason. Because not at all related to anything before the court whatsoever. Not that I'm aware of, unless there was some part of this case that I'm completely unaware of. Unrelated at all to the case before the court, you had Thomas concurring with Roberts, okay? So he was writing a concurrent opinion, which I think is generally using, people write things that they want to talk about, kind of about the case. I believe this would be considered like dicta, like it's not the majority opinion of the court. It's not like the holding part of the opinion or the controlling part or whatever. But, a justice can write more if he wants to address something relating to the majority opinion. So, for instance, when we read the other case where what was the other one? We did so many cases we talked about yesterday. Not the Section 3 case. What was the other big fucking Supreme Court case we did? Oh, the Chevron case. When we read the Chevron one, Gorsuch wrote a concurring opinion. But when Gorsuch wrote it, he was addressing the stare decisis defense of the Chevron decision, right? He was writing about, well, some people say that overturning Chevron is bad because of stare decisis, and I'm going to go through why I think that's not the case. And so he writes a concurring opinion about that because Roberts doesn't really address it in his opinion, right? So in this case, Thomas decides to write a concurring opinion on the case where Trump is seeking immunity. And Thomas doesn't really have anything, I don't think, to say much about that opinion. However, he decides to write, I think it's like 10 pages. How long even is this? He writes a 9-page opinion talking about how, by the way, I know this isn't related to like anything before the court, but I feel like special counsels are like super unconstitutional. The way that this one was hired, I don't think that's constitutional because Congress didn't specifically grant. I believe that his argument is that the way the special counsel was appointed under the DOJ necessitated an explicit order from Congress, and the DOJ didn't have constitutional authority to write. So he just wrote like an opinion on this randomly. I don't know. I didn't know why. I had no idea. I'm like, this seems kind of weird. I don't know why the fuck you're writing this. It has nothing to do. But now it makes sense. So him writing this opinion and giving his arguments why, well, actually, I think that this is bullshit, signals to other people that at least one member on the Supreme Court is willing to go to bat, a conservative, which the Supreme Court is a majority conservative, at least one conservative on the Supreme Court is willing to go to bat with the idea that the special counsel investigating Trump is unconstitutionally appointed. Now, off the back of Thomas's, what I thought was a schizo ramble, but maybe it was more calculated, the judge has dismissed the Mar-a-Lago secret documents case against Trump, and the dismissal is based on the idea that the special counsel is unconstitutional. So Judge Aileen Cannon, if that's how you pronounce her name, has dismissed the federal criminal case against Donald Trump, charging him with amassing highly sensitive national security secrets at his Mar-a-Lago estate and then obstructing government efforts to reclaim them. Cannon, in a 93-page ruling, concluded that special counsel Jack Smith's appointment violated the Appointments Clause of the Constitution. Smith is likely to appeal the ruling. Which is exactly what Thomas talked about when he wrote his concurring opinion during the immunity case. The Constitution sets forth how an office may be created and how it may be filled. The Appointments Clause provides, and then he goes through why he feels the special counsel is unconstitutional. I wonder. I haven't read that. I just woke up and I saw this. I wonder if she references Thomas's writing. Control F, Thomas. Oh, 5 times. Nice. Okay. That left Congress with an important though circumscribed role, investing appointments authority to inferior officers, framing direction of unilateral executive appointment authority, trace its roots to the American blah 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 blah, and then discussing framers' awareness. Okay. Internal quotation marks and brackets omitted. Trump v. United States. Thomas J. concurring. So do we have 5 different Thomas J. quotes here? Okay. This is a different case she's referencing here, I believe, because this is talking about a dissenting opinion. And then this is a different opinion. So 3 of the quotes that she has from Thomas here, it seems, are borrowed from this case. Destiny, doesn't that mean that the case against Hunter Biden should also be thrown out since it was also a special counsel? So I'm going to be conservative with my opinion here, and I'm going to say I don't know if those appointments were done differently. However, my gut would be no, because I believe that Thomas was very explicitly and specifically talking about just the special counsel appointment to go after Donald Trump. How can you cite an opinion of one judge when there wasn't a ruling? Interesting. That's an interesting opinion. Or a question, right? I think that the termination or the terminology that you would use, I think you would call this dicta. So when people are writing, but it's not really addressing the question before the court, they're just kind of like rambling on. And you would say, generally, I don't think you reference dicta or in dicta writing in your rulings because this wasn't like a formal question before the court. However, I think there's 2 things going on. One is that it was written by a justice. So, I mean, like, it's worth referencing a little bit, even if not for a strong purpose, just to say, well, look. But 2, it could be that, I don't even know if this would be considered conspiratorial. It could be that Thomas is signaling, saying, hey, just saying, if this does get to the Supreme Court, you know how I'll rule, right? Because he's written an opinion on paper, and it's like, well, look, you can see what I would rule. So if you decide to throw this out and it gets challenged a little bit up to us, you know at the very least I got your back, right? Yeah. Do concurring opinions have the same power as majority opinions? An opinion only has as much power as somebody gives it. The answer should be no, but it depends on how partisan the judge is. You can give it as much weight as they want, really. Judge Aileen Cannon is dismissed. Was Aileen correct? I'm not actually sure. Cannon, in a 93-page ruling, concluded that Special Counsel Jack Smith's appointment violated the Appointments Clause of the Constitution. Smith is likely to appeal the ruling. The court is convinced that Special Counsel Smith's prosecution of this action breaches 2 structural cornerstones of our constitutional scheme: the role of Congress in the appointment of constitutional officers and the role of Congress in authorizing expenditures by law, Cannon wrote. Cannon, appointed to the bench by Trump in late 2020, disparaged as highly strained Smith's interpretation, disparaged as highly strained Smith's interpretation of a legal provision that he and the Justice Department have argued authorized his appointment. Spokespeople for Smith's office and the former president did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the decision. However, Trump used the ruling to call for the dismissal of all the pending criminal and civil cases against him, including a lawsuit from the New York Attorney General and 2 civil suits from writer E. Jean Carroll. Trump lost all at trial and has appealed. The Democratic Justice Department coordinated all of these political attacks, which are an election interference conspiracy against Joe Biden's political opponent, me, Trump wrote in a social media post shortly after the judge's decision was released Monday. The post has since been deleted. Cannon's ruling came just days after a man attempted to assassinate Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania. Do you think that, did they even mention Thomas in here? The logic of Cannon's latest ruling would have invalidated some, but not all, of the special prosecutors the Justice Department has named since a federal law authorizing the appointment of independent counsels expired in 1999. Since that time, special counsel appointments have been made under regulations that give such prosecutors broad independence of operation from other Justice Department components, but subject to their major decisions to potential veto by the Attorney General. Under Cannon's view, the Justice Department lacks a legal basis to bring private lawyers into the department to head up special counsel investigations. Her conclusion would have nixed the appointment of Robert Mueller, named in 2017 to examine allegations of ties between Trump's presidential campaign in Russia, as well as that of Robert Hur, selected last year to investigate President Joe Biden's handling of classified records. Some other special counsels named from the department's existing ranks of prosecutors, though, would not have been impacted. Smith's team argued that the history of such appointments over the past quarter century meant Congress had blessed such arrangements, but Cannon disagreed. At most, the history reflects an ad hoc, inconsistent practice of naming prosecutors from both inside and outside of government, typically in response to national scandal, who possess wildly varying degrees of power and autonomy. The lack of consistency makes it near impossible to draw any meaningful conclusions about Congress's approval of modern special counsels like Special Counsel Smith, she wrote. Cannon's lengthy ruling cites on 3 separate occasions a solo concurring opinion of Justice Clarence Thomas, issued earlier this month when the Supreme Court ruled on Trump's presidential immunity claims in connection with another prosecution Smith brought against Trump. Lawson, $100. It's such a bummer that drama almost always beats substance. Keep up the good fight. W Research Students. Well, thanks, buddy. Trump's lawyers never raised the constitutional arguments against Smith in that case, on the immunity case, but some outsiders did in friend of the court briefs, and Thomas chose to opine on them when the High Court released its opinion, concluding that Trump and all current and former presidents are entitled to some immunity from criminal prosecution for their official acts. That's a generous way of stating that. Any appeal from Cannon's ruling would go to the Atlanta-based 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and then potentially to the Supreme Court. Some critics of Cannon's handling of the Trump case have been eager to see such an appeal, hoping that it might lead to her removal from the case. This, however, she's done her job. All we needed to do was basically appeal the case past the presidential election date so that we know that there's absolutely no chance that anything of substance will come from this case until after the election. So in terms of what her goal was, I guess, as a federal judge, she's done her job. Yeah. In saying that Thomas's schizo ramblings actually trickled down to this case, I don't think that's the right way to view it. I think it was intentional. I don't think it trickled down. I think he wrote it explicitly for this, with the goal of having this case get tossed. First-time Dem voter here. Your aggressive assertion of the elector's scheme and those who supported it forced me to confront the record. It's difficult to unsee. Don't listen to the optics-obsessed milquetoast doormats. What about when your mom... something. Just kidding. I love you. Thanks, buddy. Deej gifted 10 subs. Thank you, my duder. Before diving into this, I guess I'll talk real fast. Sorry, I don't even know if I have any fucking viewers right now. My shit is fucked. I don't know why my computer's frozen twice. Real quick on so I got 12-hour muted on Twitter because I had to delete a tweet for hate speech. So the tweet that I got a 12-hour suspension, and it says, "Hi Destiny, your account at the OmniLiberal has been locked for violating the X rules, specifically for violating our rules against violent speech. You may not threaten, incite, glorify, or express a desire for harm or violence." And the tweet that got tagged was this. It was me quote tweeting the guy, I think, doing the Putin slurping, saying, "This is the fucking retard that got killed at the Trump rally, fucking LeMayo." Oh, and then also, I just want to say, okay, if If you can find it in your heart to open your wallets, please. My account has also, unfortunately, been removed from Twitter ad revenue sharing. These are going to be rough times. These are going to be tough times ahead for us. I don't know if I have to sell my car, if I'm not going to be able to flat as many girls. I'm going to have to quit taking 300 milligrams of Vyvanse a day to fulfill my drug habit. But how much money have you made from Twitter in total? I don't know, probably a couple $1,000. You just get like every like a few weeks, they'll just like send you $100. I don't know how to check. Wait, hold on. Oh, since I got removed, I don't know if it's listed anymore at all. For the Lamborghini, tough times are coming. Thank you. I'm just kidding. Also, wait, hold on. In case you don't know, I am kidding. I'm kidding. The money from Twitter was just like kind of like funny money. I'm not. You don't have to donate because I was being a memer there. Sorry. Thanks for the $100, Sammy. Okay, and I will say also, I don't know yet. We'll see where it all settles out at. Okay, I thought the Muslims were the crazy ones. The Trumples might actually be a little bit more militant. I'm not sure. I thought it was the Muslims because they were pretty unhinged. But I will say that the Trumples are very active across everything right now. I will say, though, hopefully, I have a guy that emails me a ton who I'm pretty sure he's Muslim, and he gets asked mad at a lot of my Palestinian stuff. But he seemed a little bit more appreciative that, listen, if you're of a particular political orientation or some shit, and you see me shitting on something, and you feel like I'm unfair or I only shit on one side, at least you can see, okay? I do give it all around. I think he was like... He's like, listen, I see you're giving it to the conservatives, even though I gave you a lot of shit for your anti-Palestinian stuff. I'll give you props for that. I was like, yeah, that is true, okay. We do fuck with all of them. But you made fun of a tragic event in Destiny. Of course, people are going to turn on you. This is the road you went down. I need you to understand when you say that, how much hatred I have for you in my body, okay? Because I have made fun of people dying who are infinitely more brave, okay, than the fat fucking Putin-worshipping fucking losers, okay, that inhabit these Trump rallies, okay? Keep in mind, I've made tweet after tweet after tweet, okay, making fun of Palestinians and roasting people in Gaza and blah, 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 okay, right? I've made so many tweets, my friend, not a second thought goes by, okay? Like, a brave conservative is a guy that catches a stray at a fucking Trump rally, and that guy is unassailable, okay? But like Palestinians on the Gaza Strip, it'll be 14-year-old boys running up to the backs of APCs and tanks that are planting C4 on them to run away and set them off, okay? No body armor, no guns, no nothing, all right? This is a level of bravery that is unfathomable to a fat fucking Trump retard. So if I can make fun of those people and it's hilarious, epic memes, but me making fun of you retards sometimes is like over the line, you were always a snowflake. Just know that. Just know that you were always a snowflake. Okay, which is fine. Also, if you accept it, I'm cool with that. Just accept it. Okay.